Day 12, France against Denmark. 20 years ago, the French coach Didier Deschamps lifted the trophy on home soil. This was his 80th match in charge, 6 years at the helm. His French team required the draw to ensure top spot. There were 6 changes made in the team, each person looking to stake a claim for a starting spot in the second round. Steve Mandanda, who had been in 5 previous tournaments, would make his first appearance at the age of 33. France certainly had qualified results much better than the performances. For Denmark, unbeaten in 17 games, a point would ensure their qualification. There were 3 changes for the Danes, as starman Eriksen was looking to add to his 17 goals in 20 games. The permutations for Denmark were interesting. They could either finish top, second, or third. As to the game, a chorus of boos at half time said it all. It was an awful, a really truthful, truly dreadful encounter. A contest lacking in desire, certainly in need of a spark. With Peru leading 1-0, a superb goal from Carrillo, the pressure was off Denmark. In this contest, very organised and solid, having 9 players most of the time in defence. Certainly non-adventurous, and they only stretched the French, and they were only stretched a few times by the French. There was no attempt, nothing on goal most of the time. Certainly there was no saves at all to make in the contest. There's only a few half-hearted penalty appeals for the Danes. For France, lacking in real ambition to get in the box, there was a lack of width, very lethargic, slow, lack of imagination, fluency, or any kind of penetration. It was rather dire. The situation was comfortable for both teams. It seemed a very relaxed attitude. With no nil-nils after 36 games at this tournament, this had the potential to certainly end the trend. None of the players none of the new guys was taking a good claim for a starting place in the following game, especially for France. There was 1 yellow card certainly suggesting that players weren't going in and they weren't looking to get injured. So they wanted to take it pretty easy. Denmark, who had conceded 1 goal in 6 games, in fact they'd only scored 4, coped fairly well with all French attacks. Then Peru going 2-0 ahead through Guerrero probably wouldn't do much to spark the contest. If anything, knowing that they were safely through, almost safely through, should have given them the impetus to try and win the group, Group F, for Denmark. The best efforts of the contest involved Giroud, a chip on 15 minutes before another on 43 minutes, and for Denmark, and then Dembele almost looked to from a try from distance, tried his own. Griezmann totally failed to spark. There seemed to be a lack of understanding with Giroud. The group was now taking shape with 15 minutes remaining. And so in the end, Griezmann, he found himself replaced by Fekir. Denmark certainly on their way to their first appearance at the second stage since 2002, where they lost to England 3-0 Interestingly, Denmark had ended the reign of the French in the second round, in the final game of the group stage, ending defeating like the then champions French by 2-0. The neutrals were far from happy at the standoff. Perhaps the introduction of Mbappe, a show of intent, would bring a change. Fekir at least tried to score and attempt to curl the ball around Schmeichel. Giroud then went down looking for a penalty, as there was little chance of a thrilling finish, as there was fans showed a clear show of discontent. Everybody was put out of their misery as 3 minutes of stoppage time came to an end, ending to a chorus of booing and whistling. Like Peru would win the first game in the World Cup since 1978. 32 million very proud Peruvians. For Australia, needing the win. It would be the end, and also the end of the illustrious career of Tim Cahill. So Peru had scored their first goal for 40 years, and well deserved.